Hi, it's Kathy from Raven Vintage. I'm excited to be back working on this textile journal. And I wanted to first mention that Michelle Cox Creative, where these fabrics came from, her Etsy shop is open again right now. So there are a bunch of bundles like similar to this with the eco dyed textiles. Also a bunch of naturals, beautiful linens, German linen, beautiful lace, wallpaper, and she has some really cool vintage buttons. I'll link her shop below. Make sure you check her out. And then I had two questions from in the comments. So T-Bear 8, she asked what book the herbs came out of, the herb pages in here. So I think she's referring to like this here, like this text on the back. So those herb pages came from this book here, and then the flowers came from this book here. So like this here, so this here, the specimen, that one came from this book here. So let's start. I'm pretty sure this is the one you wanted to know about, T-Bear. So it is called, I did answer you in the comments, but just, so it's Herbs, International and Illustrated by Gilda Daisley, illustrated by Ingrid Jacob, and it's from 1989. And I'll get you, we'll zoom in here and I'll get you the ISBN number. So here, I'll zoom in. That's the ISBN number if you want to jot that down and take a look. Isn't this cool? So I bought this secondhand. So somebody has written in pencil beside all of the herbs what their medicinal purpose would be. So fennel for cramps and tired eyes, comfrey for ease burns and swelling and bruises, mint for digestion. Isn't that awesome? But yes, this is a beautiful book. So that's where I got the herb pages from, this one. And then the other ones, the black and whites, those came from this book, The Treasury of Flowers by Alice M. Coates. And again, I'll show you the, I think this one's 1975. Yes. So I'll zoom in here again so you can grab, if you want to jot down that ISBN number, if you want to go searching online with like Abe books or something like that. I've ordered from them before. So there you can see, that's where those came from. This is a fabulous book. There's some colored stuff in here too. That's another one of my favorites. T-Bear 8, I hope that answers your questions. And then the next question I had was from Maggie Sapanera. Maggie Sapanera 3959. She was asking about the newsprint. So this is what the newsprint looks like, Maggie, before, like blank, without being printed on. This, the one I have listed in the description box below, which by the way, on the US link, it's on sale right now. I just noticed that. It looks like bacon, but with a P, bacon. It's on sale. So this is, it comes in a ream of 500. It's called newsprint paper, and it does say white, but let me show you what they mean by white. So this is that paper. It's just another pack I have. Compared to regular copy paper, this is regular 20-pound copy paper, white. So you can see what they mean by white. It's kind of a stone putty color. This is smooth and it glides, and this is smooth also, but it's fibrous. I don't know how else to explain that. But when you get your newspaper with your local news printed, like with the text printed on it, like this is the same paper. It's newsprint. Just without the text. So it's blank newsprint. So that's what it looks like. And these are, this ream, it's 8.5 by 11. Those fit in my printer, and I have absolutely no problem just putting a stack in and printing as is. I don't need to glue it down on a header sheet or anything. I just put the stack in and print, and it prints just fine. So it's a little bit, I don't know, kind of almost the same thickness as regular 20-pound copy paper. They don't show the weight on here, but yeah, there you go. So I hope that answers your question, Maggie, about when I talk about newsprint, this is what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about a newspaper. Same paper, but this is blank. It's the paper itself I'm talking about, the newsprint paper, made out of recycled fibers, and it's not a newspaper. a newspaper we'd have black hands if we were working with that. So I hope that answers your questions, everybody. And then Michelle Monks had mentioned that she really liked this as the cover, or being added to the cover as a front pocket. So that's what we're going to start with today. I also want to tell you about my new mat. I got this at Michael's. I was there the other day to buy a new bottle of glue and with my coupon, and it's much cheaper to go to Michael's and use the coupon to get my glue than it is to it's cheaper anyway than it is to buy off of Amazon. Usually it's the other way around. Usually I find Amazon cheaper. That's why I have all those links below than it is to go buy things in person. But this, for some reason, if on the Canadian site, is like 40 or 50 bucks, and it's like 13 or something at Michael's. So it's quite a difference. So you have to, look around. So this, I think I need a piece of paper or something under these. Let's just use this file folder. So that is which is the front, which is the back? This is the back, I think. Is it? That's the back. That's the back. I can tell by the ridge, the lift. Okay. Let's see if I can get this glue going. So yes, my mat, actually, that's what I used my coupon for, was my mat. It's a Fiskars brand, and I'll get you the price in a minute, but it was Canadian. Oh, what was it? Do I have my receipt handy? I'll have to take a look. Oh, this is going to give me grief. Okay, maybe we won't bother with that one right now. Let's try the new one. Now, I will take your suggestions and add some acetone to this. And also the other suggestion is to put some, like, Vaseline around there, which I think I will do both of those things. But let's see. For today, this should work for me. And I'm just going to go around this, or along here. Let's start with that, and I want to get that right on the edge of the seam because it's not straight, and I thought about straightening out the edge, and I thought, no, I kind of like it the way it is. So this one's going to go right, this kind of, I don't know what I'm talking about here. What am I talking about? This row of stitching, I'm going to put it right on the seam of right on the corner of the, oh my gosh, my words are gone today. Where'd they go? The only thing I don't like about this is how long it takes to dry. Okay. And then you can see that it's got this kind of scoop in here, and that's fine. I'm just going to go with it because it's how it came, and I like that. So I'm going to go across here, here, and across here, and I am going to put something along the seam on that side. And then I'm going to, oh no, there's a shadow, sorry. Pull this way with my hand as I turn that. Yes, there we go. So dainty, so pretty. So I'm not gluing down the whole thing, so it still has like room to breathe in there. And yes, I think I'll glue that down. Like that. Okay. And then in the front, I really should iron it, but you know me, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to, there's just not a lot to glue there. So yeah, this is going to be tricky, isn't it? Let me see. I think what's the best thing to do? I'm going to pull this kind of taut like that. I'll glue here and then I'll reach underneath and glue these spots, I guess. I think that's maybe for the best. Yeah. So I'm going to grab a couple of clips. All right, so how far? There. Yeah, I don't know how this is going to hold. Let's just try it. And then I'll be trimming off the excess. That's pretty good. And we'll clip that. So thank you for all your wonderful comments about the journal so far. Okay, I think that's good. And then I'm just going to do a little bit of glue along here, not a solid stripe, but let's see how that holds. We can always go back and glue the ends again. But isn't that pretty? It's very pretty. Now, if it turns out that this is not enough of a hold for a pocket, I thought about maybe adding some lace as the topper across there. That's one option, but I kind of don't want to take away from the beautifulness that it already is. So then I thought, well, why couldn't I just do some stitching? So I might end up doing some hand stitching to hold that pocket in place, but let's see how the glue does. Let's wait and see. Now I might need to take a break for a bit to let that dry so that I can come back and do some other. So the Fiskars mat is regular, this 18 by 24 one is regular $45.99 Canadian, and the day I went they had a 40% off coupon. It's usually $30, so I paid $27.60, approximately $28, let's say, for this mat. So I'm very happy with that. 30% off coupon would be $32, so even that's not bad. So yes, so that solves the journey of the mat. I figured that out. Okay, I'm gonna let this dry a bit and then I'm gonna come back and we're going to do pockets, belly bands, maybe a page edge, and I also had another idea. Let's see if we have time for that. It's living in my head and we'll see if I have some layering ideas I want to try. So I hope that it works. It seems good in my head, so we'll see. All right, we'll be back in a bit. I've let that dry about 20-30 minutes or so. It seems to be holding pretty well, so I've taken the clips off. I'm going to wait a little bit longer just to let that cure a little bit more before I trim. I just don't want the scissors to pull on any tact it already has, so we're going to leave that. But this is going to be really sweet as a front pocket. We'll figure out what we can put in there, but that is really pretty. That looks really nice. Okay, it's a really nice, and then I can just picture a beautiful bow in the front. I think that's lovely. Okay, when we did our tabs and I added them to the front of each signature, some of them are very thin, fragile paper. So the weight of this, it's not bad. I just am a little bit concerned about this, and this could tear eventually. So I think what the best thing to do is to put some sort of a structural edge on the back side here. I can see now that I put that one on a little bit crooked, but I'm not worried about it. So there's a couple of ways we could do that. This is cardstock that I've printed on, and I can simply do a side tuck. Now another option, of course, is to just add something entirely to the page to to strengthen the entire page. There's that one. There's also this one. They're not quite the right height. In keeping with our theme here, let's build a cluster strip using some of these little bits that we have. There's pink. So these are just little leftovers from the projects we've done so far. There's tissue. There's some dictionary page. There's tissue. There's, of course, the fabrics. And let's maybe add some music sheet as well. So we've all probably done cluster strips before. I'm getting rid of any of the blank business here. So I don't know, about let's do odd numbers. So let's do 5, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those. I'll do the same with the dictionary page. Although I just absolutely love that edge, but we'll use it for something else. So 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we will use some of these. Only one pink one, so we'll set that aside because we don't want to mess up our flow. One, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Of course, we're going to keep every little bit because, you know, tags, tag toppers. And then this green, so similar. Let's just hold off on that. This is the ribbon it came with, and it's very fragile, so let's do so. It's not going to do me any good as a tie, I don't think. So we'll use this. 1, 2, 3. Four, 5. Of course, I have this really cute little bow, and we have this too for a different texture, but let's just see what this is going to look like. I'm going to use my art glitter glue. Change my mind, you know me, because I could use that as a belly band or something with part of that showing. So I'm just going to rethink this. This is tall enough, yes. Yep. And now I think I'm just going to take off 1 inch. Oh. I'm a woman, I'm allowed to change my mind. And then I didn't do any tissue yet, did I? So let's grab some tissue. Grab your tissues. Okay. I love making these. I love them. I don't know why. I just think they're so cool. Okay, so just start with some glue. Not worried so much about inking the edge of this because it's already craft. That. So we'll get an assembly going. We've got book page. Then maybe we'll do some green. I feel like tissue is going to be the thing we fill in with. Green and tissue. Okay. Then let's do some fabric. Paper fabric. music, so that's paper, and then we'll go back to a fabric. I'll fill in later with the tissue, and then we'll go back to the dictionary page. Then we'll go green fabric. Music notes. Just continue that pattern. There. And that's lovely. I just love this. Some of these strings off of here. A few strings are okay, but not, oops, a whole bunch. There, I like that. We'll just write these down. So we're going to call this a cluster strip. And then of course we started with the front pocket, so we'll call that a cover pocket. Two things we've done. Okay, and then let's see about adding this tissue. Do we even need it? I think we don't really need it. And then I'll just add our strip here. Yeah, I like that. It doesn't take away from this beautiful page, but it's still going to give this edge the integrity it needs. And I can overhang a little bit so I hide my oopsie there, although I don't really mind that oopsie. So let's just glue on right on the page. Very pretty. Quick. So we used a pattern, but it's not too matchy-matchy. Get this over far enough. Just a little bit taller than the newsprint, my chipboard, so let's let that dry a bit, and then I will trim that. Let's see my glue marks because of that paper. What am I going to do about that? Should have smoothed that glue out, as I know the newsprint's pretty thin. Okay, so let's keep that in mind for the next one. It's fine now. I don't mind this overhang one bit. Okay, I like that. Okay, now a pocket, of course. And I'd like to do something in each signature just to start spreading things out. And then we'll come back to the front again and we'll go again. Okay, so here's the second signature. If I had some sort of a pocket right here and then put something substantial in there, that would be that would give this thin atlas page the integrity it needs, I think. The other thing you can do is attach your fabric to something. So here, this is an envelope left over from the paper wallet project I did. So it's a sealed envelope. I sealed the envelope and then cut it in half. So I have this pouch. So I could use that pouch, which happens to be just the right size for this page, and attach the fabric to the front of this. And that way I could make it a double pocket, so that, make it a triple pocket. You could put something behind when it's glued down, we could put something inside, and then we could of course include something in between this and this. You can also glue your fabric right to your page. However, I'm looking to add a little integrity to this, to these front pages. So let's first add our fabric to that. And I think this would be a really great time to use these. I think they are really cute. So yes, I'm going to do that. Let me separate this one. Go around like that. Okay, I like that very much. And because it's a craft envelope, I'm fine that that whole thing's not showing. Just trim these up all the way around. And then this guy, I'm just going to use that Fabri-Tac glue. So thank you everybody for your encouragement on this project and your excitement for the project. It's always nice to work with beautiful stuff. I know some of you were inspired to dig out some of your textiles. I'm trying to just use Michelle's kit here and not add to it, so I can keep showing you how beautiful this kit is. I don't want to take away from it. Okay, I think that is absolutely darling. So basically it's a doily now on, I'm sure this was probably from a tablecloth or something, but now it's a doily on a craft envelope that we're going to use that is sealed. And we're going to use it like a pocket. Okay, so this one I'm not going to, so we'll do a second pocket so you can see what I mean about sliding something behind the lace. But we'll do that on a page that doesn't need the integrity. So let's just glue this one down as is. And I think I'm just going to glue the whole thing down and not worry about the double extra pockets here. It's a thin paper, but we'll... Just turn that over. It looks fine. Absolutely fine. And now let's put something in there so that we can get that effect we are looking for, or the result we are looking for, with some sort of integrity to the how about this invoice from the Sweet Sage. Ooh. Sweet Sage, oh, I don't like that green against that green. Never mind, never mind, never mind. Never mind. That's why I said I wanted to use this originally, but now I'm thinking it's not quite the right color. This one is though. So we'll be able to use some of it, but not all of it. Is it going to be too wide? It should be fine. So this particular piece from the Sweet Sage, you could technically cut this into two and have two separate cards because it's two separate invoice headers. But let me see if this fits. It does. Okay. Beautiful. Oh, and then there's room to put something. So that whole page now has a little more integrity. Not just because of the pocket, which I think needs a little more glue, but because of what we put inside the pocket. Great spot to put the scalp, I think. Yeah, like that. So this needs a little trim. I'm just not going to add some of the pieces left over from doing that cluster, plus it pulls the theme through. Let's just add a few pieces to the corner of this. So I'm just going to do it with glue. You could also use a staple if you wanted to. That. And some of this. So nothing's wasted. And she's going to go in there. Okay, so let's write this down. We did a cluster pocket, or a doily pocket. And we did a, I don't even know what you'd call that. We'll just refer to those as embellishments. This little bow here, I'm just aching to use somewhere, so we'll figure out where we're going to use that. Eventually, we'll find a home for it. All right, let's get our lid on our glue and carry on. That. I'm going to use that belly band at a later date. Put that in here. Okay, so next signature, let's see what we can do in here. So this would be a really great one to do some sort of a pocket where you can see, oh, I like that very much. Okay, let's do that as one of our lace pockets. Okay, so what we're aiming for here is that you can see through the crocheted textile and you can see behind it. There's also this one here, which is just beautiful. Same thing, but I think we'll find something a little more like I think that right there is really beautiful. So let's just leave that in there as another one. We could do that as a side tuck, or okay, but here, let's do one of these. So this is just simply a crocheted pocket. Okay, and then we'll figure out, now there is a scallop edge to this on this side. Let's see if it goes this way or this way. I think this is the back, but I kind of like it better. I don't know why, I just do. Oh no, I guess that's pretty nice too, isn't it? Okay, I think we'll go with this scalloped typed edge for the top of the pocket. And I'm going to make that about, oh, let's see, that's 1, 2, 3, almost 4 inches, 3.5. Okay. Wasn't very neat. One side's higher than the other. Okay, I ended up going about halfway, which is going to be 4.5. Let's see what that works out to be. That's so pretty. Okay, that's pretty. And like I said, we'll wait to trim that off because I want that to adhere really well. Let's put that in there. Okay, here's my crazy idea. I would like to do some sort of a tri-fold. And I'm thinking that these greens remind me of course, grass and things. And that is going to be the other side. Okay. This is what I'm thinking. You just tell me if I'm crazy or not. Okay. I'm thinking of a rolling hill. And I'm cutting this a little bit wider than the page to start. So let's just follow that kind of there. And then this right off. Like that. Can be higher. Okay. And then this one is going to go this way. It's a rolling hill. That's a rolling hill behind it. And then this will be the flower in the front. Okay, this is my thought. All right, so if this flips this way, this flips that way. All right, so let's make this, in theory, this should work. We're gonna try it. We're gonna try. We're gonna try. Make sure you have a nice edge there. Make sure my fold fits. Need a flap. You can see it there. So we'll cut that off. And we'll do the bottom too. So that would be the first one. And then you would end there. Okay, there's one hill. This is the other rolling hill. And it would flip from the opposite side. So let's do this. Needs a flip. Again, let's just trim the corners down so you can't see them underneath. And then this one there. There we go. Okay, in theory, I'm sure you could make this really quite beautiful. This, I don't really like the... There we go. Sort of difference like that. That way. And then this would be underneath. I'm not sure if this is what I'm going to use or if I'm going to use a person. Let's wait and see. Okay, so I have two rolling hills. Think hills in the distance. And I want to use the greens. Get rid of this stuff. So the darker colors would be in the distance, so they would go in the back. Maybe I like these two. I think I do. So if this is the hill in the back, I'm going to cover it, not the flap, but I'm going to cover this with fabric. And again, just in case my edges show. Start with one edge anyway. Fabric scissors out and just following along this template that we made. So there's our first hill. I like that, and I like the texture of it. It looks like grass. Okay, and then this one, the lighter color. feel like a die cut would be better for the top flip. Okay, and then let's see here. It just kind of has a natural. The white showing through. I'm okay with that. Are you? Yeah, that's fine. Okay, trim this one. This is, like I said, this has been living in my head, so haven't tried this before. But I've seen lots of Christmas crafts with the houses in the villages, and you flip, flip, flop, and then there's different heights of houses. So that's, I think, where I got inspired to do this. So I could move them up and down the page like that. That's cute. Might glue that one down, or I might trim it later. We'll see. Now that I can see the front, let's just fix this up a little bit. Okay, I like it. And then the frayed fabric just looks like grass to me, so I'm pretty happy with that. All right, let's get these two in, and then we'll figure out what we're going to do on the top. I think this is really cute. I know I keep saying cute, I'm sorry. Textiles over here. Over here. I can figure you out. Okay. So if I move that one up a little higher, and this one here. So then this would flip out. This would flip out, and you see the green underneath, which isn't quite the right green, but that's okay. And then you could journal underneath. Maybe we will ink this up a little bit. I should have done this side a little darker. Okay. So this is the bottom one. I'm going to do the inside first. Flips are fun, right? And this is a little thick because, and now that I'm saying that, maybe it would be wise to do it in between signatures. What's this one? Ooh, ooh. Oh, but I don't want to really cover up my pretty tab. But I could do it on the back. Oh, I could do it on the cover. Oh, let's do it on the cover. Okay. Let's do it on the back cover. Changed my mind. Surprise. There. This makes sense. And then we have this gap in here because this is going to be a little bit thick. So depending on your material, you might be okay to do it in the middle of your journal. Oh, this is pretty. I like this. Okay, and then that one, just make sure you glue the right side. Oh, and then we can hide our, when we do our 2-hole ribbon closure, we can hide that. So then let's lift that for a second. Where do you want it? About there. Like that. Let's quickly take a look. Oh, isn't that pretty? Does it look like hills? It's the idea. It's supposed to. It's my thought. Now you could continue, if you had like other fabric, just depending on your color, you could do a sun. You could flip a sun in there over top. Okay, so I'm thinking some sort of a, what's going to be nice there, some sort of a die cut. Okay, so I changed my mind a couple of times there, but this is what I'm gonna go with. So these are die cuts from Anna Griffin. And these, I've picked up some in the past at Value Village, but this set I got at that private sale when I had the girls' day out, the shopping event. Okay, so this one's going to just go right there. We'll get you inside a little bit so you're not hanging over the edge of the journal. And then this one will be just up there in the sky where you ought to be. Okay, so doing these flips with the fabrics, they don't have to be like a literal shape like what I'm going for here with the hills and the grassy meadow kind of idea. It's just what I had in my head. So whether whoever purchases this journal, whether they interpret that or not, is that's okay. If they don't, if it just looks like a fabric flip, that's fine too, because either way it's pretty, right? But look at this now. So you can so you can journal on here, you can journal on the back of that card, and then you have all of this area here where we will be putting our closure. Oh, that's really pretty. I quite like that. I quite like that. Okay, so let's go back to this one. We were going to this signature here. Yes, and we talked about doing a wasn't that page? It was this page. We talked about doing a pocket with this beautiful, so we're going to do a crocheted pocket that you can see through to see in when you put something in there and you can see behind it. So let's do that. Now we can also do this as a tall, let's do that so that we have something a little bit different. It's almost tall enough, isn't it, to do like a full page? Well, I'm going to say it is. Should I come right over? Okay, I'm going to cut it so that we get these circles are a little more sturdy, and I'll cut around that. Let's see how we make out. But for today, I think we're going to run out of time, so I can stretch this as much as possible. Okay, let's give this a stretch, and then I've got those clips handy so we can clip it. Stretch. Okay, get this clip down here first. Really trying not to glue my pages together, but it looks like I might need to fix that. Okay. That. And then this. Very nice side tuck there. So now you can see what you're putting underneath. I think crocheted pockets are one of the most beautiful things. So here we've done a side pocket or a side tuck, whichever you want to call that. When is it a tuck versus a pocket? Who knows? Who cares? Right? So I think that's really pretty. I'm going to switch this over here now. And I think we can trim this one now. thank you so much for hanging out with me and bearing with me with my crazy ideas. I think I'll bend this back a little bit. See these little bits? They might just interfere with the folding of the journal. So there. So that's a pretty pocket there as well. Now it's a crocheted pocket and you can see through that too. The doily pocket we can't see through because we glued that right to the pocket. It's really sweet. I feel like that needs one more color or something. I don't know. That's a nice spread though. I like this. This is really pretty. You can kind of see through the tissue as you're going. So we'll see what we're going to put in there. So we did a doily pocket, we did a crocheted pocket, and a crochet side tuck, let's call it. And we did our layered landscape, let's call it. So these are all just kind of general things that we do in our journals anyway. The side tucks, the pockets. I didn't do a belly band. The snippet strips. Again, these are just typical things we do in our journals anyway, but this time we're just adding a little bit of fabric or textiles to those typical junk journal elements that we add to our journals. And then here, come back to our front of our cover and very carefully, without cutting the fabric here, this is going to be a little tricky. There, it's like getting a good haircut. Sometimes it's just those last little straggle pieces that finish it off. Move that over. So we added another textile from Michelle's lovely kit and made a pocket for the front cover. Something there. We took this first signature, added a fabric cluster mixed with paper to the page edge on the back side. And then in the next signature, we added a doily pocket using an envelope. And then we added some cardstock ephemera in there so this whole page has a little bit more integrity. And then in the third signature, that is where we added our crocheted pocket, just a standard crocheted pocket. So I didn't end up doing anything in the fourth signature because I decided to take that landscape thing and put it on the back cover. So we can, next video, we'll make sure we add a project to the fourth signature. In the fifth signature, the last one, is where we added this crocheted side tuck. And I think that is just absolutely gorgeous. It's so pretty. And of course, when you add something into this side tuck, you'll be able to see through the crochet. I think that's just lovely. So that's a really great spot for like those portraits and that sort of thing for that to go. And then this was the fifth project we did. We did some layering with fabrics and we made a landscape. So we made some rolling hills. We used lighter colors at the front for the foreground and darker colors for the back. And then that gives us room to do some journaling here, journaling back here. Maybe we could add a pocket, but it's already pretty thick. So I think what I'll do back here is I'll just add my 2-hole closure like I do. But most definitely, how fun is that? And the different textures and the different colors, that just adds so much interest to this page. And I love it with next to the green songbird page. It's gorgeous. A beautiful spread, just like that. I quite like that. All right, well, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I want to say thank you to some people for watching the last video. Dorothea, A Blessed Journal, Rebecca Kidd, Life's Ever After, Lindsay 2882, Susan Justice, Lori Drinkard, hi Lori, Margot, my OG, hi Shannon, Shannon Rogers, Michelle Monks, thanks for watching, Christine Before You, thank you for watching. See some new names here, thank you. Shauna's 464, Shauna S or Shauna's 464, my friend Teresa from Vintage Chic, my friend Carrie from Created Me Creative, B. Tracy, Gina Carnahan. Oh, you might be new too. Thank you for watching, Gina. Bluebird Girl, welcome back. Thank you for watching. Valerie Supli, welcome back. Laura Mann, 8315. Hello. Linda A, 8704. Hello, Linda. Sherry Mills. Hi, Sherry. There's another one of my OGs, Sherry. My friend Crafty Corey. Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate it. I appreciate your sweet comments. I love reading them, and you guys inspire me to just keep going. And I know it's been a few days since we worked on this journal, so it's excited to get back to it. So thank you for hanging out with me today, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye for now.